So you've got £199 to spend and you're in the market for a brand new phone that's going to take you through your daily life. Well, look no further than the Huawei Psmart 2019. This thing is awesome. So, the Huawei Psmart for 2019. What's new? What's bad? What's good? Let's dive straight into it. I've got the jet black version here. Now, I do prefer the Aurora blue colour, but with this black one, we're definitely going for ultimate budget stealth. So, after using the phone for the last week in Las Vegas, and by the way, all of these photos were shot on the Psmart 2019, I realised why I like this budget phone so much. The 3D curved unibody design, try saying that 3 times fast, means the phone feels seamless around the edges with no gap between the sides and the back of the phone, making it feel like a premium device to hold. It is just a really nice phone to feel because of that reason alone. It sits really nice in the hand, feels quality. If you think this phone looks or feels cheap, you are heavily mistaken. It's the one thing that I really like about this device. Feels premium. On the back of my ultimate black stealth device, we've got ourselves a dual camera setup. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into these two lenses. One of them on here is a 13 megapixel shooter, the other one being a 2 megapixel shooter. Now Alex, why is there a 2 megapixel shooter on the back of here? Well, that lens is simply for gathering depth information. Yeah, you've got depth control in a budget phone. I was really impressed with the photos taken from the camera. There was more than enough detail in the images, and they didn't seem too over-sharpened like most other budget phones nowadays. And you can also get a little bit creative with the Pro mode, which actually allows you to go in. You get to control everything from the ISO to the shutter speed, to the EV value, to the white balance, to even turning off autofocus and putting it in manual. Really awesome. So Alex, it's all well and good saying all of this, but what's the camera quality actually like? Well, personally, I think it's really good. You guys have seen some photos flashing up on your screen that have been taken directly from this phone, so you can make up your own mind. Now, the camera has some special modes, one of them being night mode. Let's dive in. Now, it worked pretty well, but don't expect obviously DSLR quality photos, but considering it was 1 AM in Las Vegas when I was taking these photos, there's a surprising amount of sharpness coming from these images, so you really can't grumble. As far as video is concerned, there's no 4K coming out of this as this is a budget device, but you can go all the way up to 1080p at 60 frames per second, and this is what the quality looks like from the Huawei Psmart 2019 coming out of its back cameras in 1080p. And if you're the type that likes to vlog, well, this is the dewdrop camera on the front of the display recording its video. You can make your own mind up. Moving on from the cameras on the back of the device, we've got ourselves a lovely middle-mounted fingerprint sensor. Not only is this my favourite placement ever in a phone for a fingerprint scanner, having it in the back, right at the middle, near the top, but the fingerprint scanner itself was really good. The phone also has face unlock capabilities, however I can't comment on this because I haven't tested it out, but from what other people have said, yeah, it works really well, but I just prefer the bog standard fingerprint and you're straight in. It's honestly rapid. Now the display is called the dewdrop display because of this tiny little notch up at the top. This little dewdrop at the top of the display is the front camera. Now the front camera is pretty good. The front-facing camera on this phone, I would say, is adequate enough for sort of social media selfie taking, and it's wide enough for group shots. It's actually wider than a lot of other phones that I've tested, and I love a wide front-facing camera. The screen itself is 6.2 inches with a resolution of 2340 by 1080. I've got no issues with the screen whatsoever in regards to sort of watching back and playing video, and it was even great using the eye comfort mode at night, which actually tones down some of the colours so the phone is nicer and easier to look at. The screen is brilliant. There's more than enough resolution on here. It gets more than bright enough to view even in direct sunlight outdoors. I've got no complaints in the screen area. This 9 out of 10 screen. Now, what else has it got going for it, you may ask? Well, I suppose you could say it's got a headphone jack. It's also got a hybrid dual SIM card slot, so you can actually have expandable storage in this bad boy. The phone ships with the Kirin 710 processor and 3 gigs of RAM. Now, when I heard that this thing had 3 gigs of RAM, I thought to myself, that's not going to be too good for gaming. But actually, Huawei have done some absolutely incredible optimization, and playing games like PUBG work absolutely flawlessly on this device without a hitch, no dropped frames or anything. Battery has been alright. You've got a 3400 mAh battery in here. I was getting through my full days at CES using this thing for mapping around CES, taking photos, making phone calls, using data when it worked because CES was so overcrowded. I got back to my hotel room at the end of the day without plugging this thing in once, with about 15 to 20% of heavy usage and around 8.5 hours of screen on time. So if you weigh up your screen on time at the moment, this thing got me about 8.5 hours, I would say, of heavy usage. I think if you're wanting a cheap phone that feels nice, that's got an edge-to-edge screen, that's got half decent cameras on the front and rear, can handle some pretty demanding games, got good battery life, look no further than this. It's 200 quid. Alex, there's got to be some downsides, and the only ones that I can think of are the fact that this thing has 3 gigs of RAM and a micro USB port, but I really am nitpicking at this point because the 3 gigs of RAM proven to me that it doesn't need 4 because it's fine with 3, everything runs smoothly, and micro USB port, it's just a micro USB port, isn't it? That's fine, really. For the price, this is 100% a win. My name's been Alex, this has been TechFlow. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Guys, if you missed our Huawei Psmart 2019 unboxing video, we've got that right there, and then some other relatable content below that, guys. And if you aren't subscribed to TechFlow and you're liking what we do here, the subscribe button is to the left. We'd really appreciate it.